deep into the American industrial heartland, in Saginaw, Michigan. The largest employer in town is no longer the US car industry, it's the Chinese. This factory was about to close when it was saved by Pacific Century, a company half owned by the Chinese government. It is the biggest deal of its kind in America, and it will test just how much inward investment from China into America the US can stomach. Americans worry a lot about China stealing their jobs. Well, this is one case where China saved thousands of American jobs. Yet some people still feel uneasy about this deal. So I've come to Saginaw to find out whether the Chinese are rescuing the American economy or whether they're trying to take it over. Inside the factory, workers told me they had been nervous the new owners might move the whole operation to China. But they have been promised jobs, making power steering components for at least 5 years. There was an American company bidding to buy next year, but they wanted to downsize and consolidate, or in other words, cut jobs.
When I got up this morning in the United States, I got up with 3,000 other people who got up and went to work. And that was something that I was able to do because of the fact that we found an investor who embraced our business globally.
While American companies are struggling, the Chinese have plenty of ready cash to buy firms like this and to fund their expansion. What they need most is somewhere to put all of their money. So they want this plant to be a good example of how their investment can help the US economy to survive. How disastrous would it have been for the local community if the plant had been closed?
Oh, we're looking at about 3,600 jobs right off the get-go that would be people would be without work. That's not including all the jobs, all the companies and that we support in the community. You can go up and down the road right here by the plant and look how many businesses would be impacted, not through sales with us, but just our people stopping at the gas station down the road, the restaurants. It would be horrible for this community for something like that to happen.
But when the Chinese are buying into something as iconically American as the auto industry, it feeds American anxiety that their economy will soon be overtaken by China's.
为什么强大的国家都会走向灭亡呢？不列颠帝国、美国。美国政府企图以庞大的开支和税收来摆脱严重的经济衰退。当然，我们是他们的大债主。现在他们都得给我们干活。
Fear of China is fed by American politicians who want to cut US government spending. No wonder some people think they can see through this deal in Michigan. They believe a Chinese company only bought Nexteer to get their hands on the 1,000 unique patents the company owns. What's the worst that can happen with China owning a factory here?
Well, the worst that can happen with this factory being owned by the Chinese is that it disappears completely in 5 or 6 years, with the patents that they now purchased being used to support an industry that is, moved to China.
Do you think this is a Trojan horse that's the beginning of a stealth takeover of the American car industry?
Well, I don't know that you'd call it a Trojan horse. You might call it a stab right through the heart.
China is advertising its friendly faces in America this week because they'd like to be allowed to buy even more of the American economy. Yet the people fishing underneath the frozen Saginaw River are not talking about America's trade imbalance with China. They care about having a job and mind much less who owns the firm that employs them. The cold, grim reality is that it won't be long before China is selling cars to America. But as long as the power steering components are still made in Michigan, people here will accept that new economic order. Sarah Smith, Channel 4 News, Saginaw, Michigan.